Welcome to Golden Chat, where we provide straight talk. Each week, we deliver great insights on assisted living and, in general, senior living. I'm your host, Stella, with your co host, Lana and Pedro. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So let's talk about senior living, right? It's independent living, it's assisted living, and it's supportive living. It's going to be a licensed facility that's going to offer and coordinate help with whatever activities of daily living that you may have. It's going to assist with med management. So that's kind of and personal care needs. So those are the things that assisted living are going to do, right? So let's get right into our topic. We had a great call last week. What equipment do I need to put into my property to lease it to an operator? So Tom and Linda called in last week, and they have residential properties that they rent out. Unfortunately, they've had a lot of bad renters. So, in listening to our show, they're interested in knowing, hey, I have this location, and what do I need to do to transform this into a potential rental for an operator, which will, in actuality, allow them to go from having bad renters to better renters with better opportunities. So that was their question of the day. So let's get it started, chatters.
Well, that's an extremely good question. And first
Yep.
and foremost, what you want to do is check with planning and zoning for that particular building, because whether it's your county or your city, they're going to have their requirements to see if it even qualifies to even be an assisted living facility rental. So that is your number one first step. Obviously there's different rules and regulations once you get that business up and running, but just the initial aspect is you're going to start with your planning and zoning, whether it's your county or your city. So that's where you're going to start first.
Right.
Yeah, and you can get, as Lana was saying, zoning verification letter, which will help you. And it's very simple. You look up to your property appraiser website or whatever city, whatever county your property is in, and you identify the parcel ID number. And with that number, with the address and the legal description, you can make an inquiry to your county and ask them to get that letter. So it may come with a fee, it may come for free. You depend on where you are. You ask them, and they will email you or send you that letter.
Mhm.
It's typically a fee associated with it. However, to do the inquiry, they'll let you know if it was suitable. And then if you need the fee is associated with the letter that comes on the county
Correct.
letterhead.
Correct. Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
The next piece to that is going to be the physical plant. So you're going to look around the residential property. You're definitely going to need a fire suppression system. So you're going to have to call a fire company to get some estimates, because there's a pull station which is separate from a sprinkler system. Sometimes the fire companies can do both, and sometimes it can be separate, but that's definitely going to be
Mhm.
important. You're going to need a generator hardware to the box, which allows for emergency power for the building in case of an emergency or a disaster of any kind. So the hardware, not necessarily providing a generator, but that the hardware is present so that a generator could be hooked up to it. It's going to probably be named ADA compliance, which really means handicap accessible and ready. So you're going to want to ensure that the bathrooms are step in opposed to tubs. You're going to want to ensure that there's ramps. You're going to want to ensure that there's grab bars. You're going to want to ensure that both bathrooms have those accommodations for individuals who could possibly be in a wheelchair. There are also going to be aspects of the door entries. you
Mhm.
know they may have to be enlarged because wheelchairs can't fit through the standard 24 inches. So there's times that they may have to be changed. You're going to need solid core doors, and that's a fire code. Why? Because if in the case of a fire, it takes longer for the fire to burn through those. So those solid core doors are going
Mhm.
to be important. The door closures that are attached to them, that's going to be another important aspects of having those. Your floors, you're going to want to ensure that there isn't any carpeting. You want to have smooth, whether it's probably preferred hardwood, or I'm not going to say tile, because tile tends to be a little dangerous in the case of falls, but those are things that you're going to want to do. And at the end of the day, it's just going to be the aspects of ensuring that you can call and we can assist you with that process.
True, true. So all of that is really, as Pedro just said, for safety purposes of the residents, and that will come at a cost. So that's not that's not cheap. When you look at it, and you guys been there before, you're looking at a minimum of $25,000 to 50,000, depending on the size of the property you have.
Correct, correct.
Yeah, and the initial question is, what improvement do I need to make to my property? We want to let you know that you not necessarily need to make those improvements when you rent it to an operator. Now, an option for you would be, if you want to go that route because you see the benefit of expediting a lease to your property. A good way would do it, and we talked about that when we talk about personal loan. If you have the means to be able to support a personal loan to the operator of 25 to $50,000, that
Mhm.
could be a way for you to get a higher rent, like a double rent. You're getting the rent not only for the facility, but the rent to allow them to be able to make all those improvements, because they have to really take care of the current regulations. You would want to let them do that, but it could be an occasion for you to actually get more rent. So now let me ask you, Pedro and Lana, as operators and operators looking to expand your facility, how would you welcome an occasion, opportunity like that with somebody who wants to lease their facility to you and give you a personal loan for the capital improvements as well?
Well, that's a good question because, having started one from scratch and you understand all the aspects of it, it's a lot. But I would welcome people that are interested in renting their homes to operators, because first of all, we are a good stable renter and they're going to be long-term rents. And
Mhm.
also to expand, our business, having that person that's that just like this couple that's potentially interested in renting to us, we as operators will take on that burden to make sure we're meeting those plant standards that Pedro talked about. So even though we're discussing what the plant standards are, that operator is typically going to be the one that's going to make sure that all of that's in compliance. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. I mean, you get really good renters, and it gives us the opportunity to expand our business and have that person that's willing to actually, possibly put up a loan for us to do that, Stella. So that's a good question.
Yeah, yeah. Pedro, you want to say something about that too?
It's a great opportunity for an operator to come in and be able to get started. It's going to really allow them to take the capital that they have and they can inject it
Mhm.
in where they actually need it without having to worry about areas that come up. So they'll have an opportunity to be able to be more successful at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's a win-win for you as a owner of the facility of the property, because all the improvement is going to happen to your property. So
Mhm.
basically you
Yeah.
benefiting from it. So your money is somehow in the building as well. So you are winning on that end as well, because you're benefiting from this both end. What I would recommend is, if you're thinking about going that way and you need to structure a deal like that, you definitely want to pay some attention to it. But there's a value there, there's an option for you. So Tom and Linda, this is definitely something you really want to look into.
Mhm.
And as you have many facilities, you want to get guidance on how to structure those leases how to structure even those the capital improvement, because there's a way to do it so that
Mhm.
you benefiting from having that high that premium, but you're not losing all your money there either, because you want to be careful. And we would recommend that
Mhm.
you actually do that with experienced operators,
Mhm.
somebody who already have a first facility, or even like a first would be a good two facility, even better, but a first facility, so that they're not trying it, with your facility, so with your property, I meant.
And you know, that's a good point, Stella, because you do definitely want to have people that are experienced in all avenues of this business. And if you guys are even considering, wanting to rent a home or a building to potential operators, please give us a call, because we will determine if that property will meet the criteria and help you with that potential property, as instead of just a basic rental, with now a assisted living facility rental. So as an operator as well, there's a lot of great opportunities and people are looking for it. So we hope that, people like you give us a call so then we can assist. With that said, please visit us at easierlivingforyou.com or call us at 407-794-7277 or email us at hello@easierlivingforyou.com. And join us again next week at 12:45 on Golden Chat. And please feel free to email us with those questions. That's what makes our podcast interesting, and we enjoy answering those questions. And we hope we've been of great help to you today, and we hope to hear from you. So please contact us.
Yeah, and we talk to you later next week.
Next week on Golden Chat. Bye, Pedro. Bye,
Take care.
Stella.
Bye bye.
Have a great week.
You too.